Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek, and today I have a fun open box video here from NGC south of the border. And for those of you keeping track, we're still looking at 2+ months of travel time between sending a coin out and getting it back from NGC. And what's fun is this is all going to be foreign exchange students. This is all going to be south of the border, and some really beautiful coins. And some coins that have done some really, what would you say, amazing things in the last couple of years as far as value goes. These coins, these 1 peso coins, un peso from Mexico, are known as caballitos. And these guys here are a beautiful design and very popular. They made them for a few years. And one of the things to note on these is kind of like the peace dollar, there's a relatively flat design to them. There's still a lot of detail in there, but when you look at them at a distance, that you first look at them, the designs can be really flat looking, but it's still a beautiful coin. These are coins that used to be, what would you say, $75 to $150 coins, and now it seems like they're $150 coin to $1,000 coin. They've just really shot up in value, especially in uncirculated grades. Most all of the Mexican market has done that. Let's see, NGC called this a mint state 63. One of the things to look at here is you've got nice strong luster over the coin, and you want to kind of look and see if you have any signs of wear on the coin. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish, especially on a coin that has a kind of a flat strike to it, whether or not you actually see wear lines. The good news is I have 3 different dates to kind of compare it to. And one of the things you're going to look at, I'm just going to draw your eye to kind of where the rays are back here and trying to understand one of the things that you see when it comes to, am I seeing luster or something else? You see how the rays look like they light up as I turn it, as the luster hits it? So just look right over here, where the rays, they take turns lighting up. They take turns lighting up because they have that little broken up area in between the rays, and so that area you're seeing kind of a break in the luster on that. And once again, really to help distinguish between AU and uncirculated, you want to be able to get the coin at different angles in the light to start to see if you see that effect where the coin loses some of its pop, some of its luster. So like, for example, at this angle, all of a sudden, the coin goes dark, as I like to say, versus we're going to try to compare it to this one a little bit, where, you still see it stay brighter on this coin. That's assuming the videographer knows what he's doing, which he doesn't, because apparently once you get to a certain time of day, you can no longer function. So I didn't get a good shot of that. But one of the things that I can get a good shot of is, once again, the luster on the coins, the comparison of how much luster you can see flowing on the coin. And there's really a difference once you look around the top of the coin. You'll see it just kind of breaks in luster. It's really interesting. It actually tricks your eye a little bit, because this one looks brighter, but it's because you can really follow the light. You can really follow the light dancing up across the lettering, and that's because it has a lack of luster in these open fields here. So it can be really confusing on that. This 1912 version they called an AU58. This one an MS63. I have one more caballito to look at, and this one has this one's a little tricky because it has a little bit more of almost a, I want to say, a proof-like feel to it, and that can always kind of throw you off a little bit. Now, I will say this is one of those times when I disagreed with NGC's grading to the detriment of NGC, not to the detriment of me. These coins, these 3 coins here specifically, are not mine. They are for a customer. I would have not have called this coin uncirculated. It has a lot of luster, but it is kind of in between the other coins. But it also has, in my mind, just some abrasions across the field that I would have called signs of wear. So now I'm not looking at the field, I'm actually looking at the design element, and I'm looking to see, you know, all that kind of whiteness, that kind of white scuffiness that's on there. And you can see a little bit more on, I just like saying more on, you can see a little bit more of how with these coins, you know, how flat they can look as a design. But we're going to move on and go farther south into some of my absolute favorite, all-time favorite coins, these Bolivian coins. And you're going to see coins that, once again, these get even trickier to grade because much like a bust dollar that I had recently, the strike difference on these can be really dramatic. Like this is actually a very well struck piece from 1860. And I love these coins because I love the design. Republica Boliviana. There you go. Because they have llamas, what are you going to do about that? Under a tree. And then you've got your stars coming around the top here. 1860. And one of my all-time favorite mint marks, Potosi. And which, you know, the first time I saw it, I was like, what is that funky mark? Now, did any of you ever use a typewriter when you were younger? When you were younger. Yeah, because like you're using a typewriter now. So overall, this has pretty much full luster, but there has that little white abrasion look to it. AU58, I think that's a good grade. By the way, this coin's probably a $500 coin. It is also for a customer of mine. But I just wanted to show you the Potosi mint mark. You know, it is all of the it's a P Potosi. So it's actually the letters without the vowels, and that is the Potosi mint. And so everyone can tell me I said it wrong and drew it wrong, but you get the idea. So when you look at that mint mark, you know, it's kind of like, what is that? But you can see now it's a T, a P, and an S all on top of each other. So I think you can make an argument that artistically there's an O and an I in there too, but I don't think that they're there. All right, we're going to go back to Mexico for a second to a coin that was really pretty tricky, that I was really pretty excited about because it has some heavy toning, and that's the tricky part, and it has fields that are almost proof-like. And of course, you've got the eagle on the cactus here with the snake, one of the most brilliant designs in coins, in my opinion. NGC called this 1887 Mexico City Mint 8 Real MS61. Hard coin to grade because it is the toning is thick. I mean, it just is. It does have a little bit of a proof-like look to it, especially in person, and I'm not getting it great, but you can see how the fields kind of pop right there. And they actually look pretty nice in person. Once you get at the right angle, you can really see that proof-like field. So it's kind of a fun coin. And in my mind, I kind of think they called it an MS61 not because it had a lot of marks to it, but just because it had almost just because of the heavy toning. Like they wanted to say this is a mint state coin, but until you can see past all that toning, we're just going to call it a mint state 61 and move on. All right, I got two more really cool coins from Bolivia. One is from the king, here, right, Ferdinand the Seventh. And usually when you see this coin, you're going to see a coin and you know, lots of people automatically think it's from Mexico, but once again, they had lots of different mint marks to look at on these coins, and there's our little friend, the Potosi mint mark, 8 reales, and España, one of the, what do you call this, a legendary design? Just for coins in general, there's just something about the pillars and the crest and the crown that is really pretty striking. And historically, of course, for anyone who lives in North America, what happened in Mexico is kind of a big deal. What the Spanish did in South America really helped form a lot of what happened in North America. So this is 1822. Bolivia, they call this an AU58. Real nice coin. These come struck sometimes inconsistently. You know, this one has a decent amount of detail, because sometimes you'll get them in this center part will just be flat, flat, flat. But actually you can see the wardrobe really nicely, the ear, the hairlines. So it's actually a pretty decent strike for this particular issue where they can come flat. Still trying to figure out the value in this. I think you know, it's probably $300 or $400. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that one. And last but not least, I have one more Bolivian coin with another one of my favorite designs. Once again, you can see the flat nature of the strike, but you'll notice in the fields that just how very, very lustrous this coin is, as the luster really flows all over the coin. They're just very flatly struck. Once again, you have a similar design element with the llamas under the tree, and I have had these coins come just flat as a pancake. Like, you see how one llama has some detail, the other llama has no detail. The Potosí mint mark, 8 soles, I believe is what this denomination is, 1833, 8S. You know, and these things come with all these irregularities. They were carved and recarved. The dies were carved and recarved and used and reused. And we'll take a little bit closer look here. Bolivar. You know, and I think you have just a little bit of signs of wear over the face on that. And rightly so, they call this coin an AU55. I think that's a decent grade for it. I mean, I think you could argue maybe it's a 58, but I don't think it's going to amount to hill of beans in value. Another coin that's probably you know, a $300 type coin. We'll take a look and see what the market will bear on these guys. They are pretty hard to find in higher grade certified. You do see a lot of them trading on eBay raw, and those will be all over the place. Anytime a coin trades raw on eBay, it's the wild, wild west. Which can work to your advantage sometimes if you're a specialist and you really like coins like these and you understand how to determine that a coin is just flatly struck, it's not worn. You know, you can really pick up some nice coins that way. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek, and we'll catch you next time.